I don't think I've seen a central character make these many bad decisions outside of a British sitcom. So now I'm going to talk about Ironheart. Alright, so Ironheart is the latest streaming show in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's currently streaming on Disney Plus. There are 3 episodes available right now. So I'm going to talk about like all three. Or in this case, I'm mostly going to complain about those three. And there are a total of 6. Because I read somewhere online that it's supposed to be like 6. Like someone has seen all 6 episodes. Okay, so I'm not going to recap the episodes. I'll just sort of get into what I think about it or what my issues are mostly. But before I do, like I don't remember Black Panther 2 very clearly, but I do know that Riri Williams' character, like the central character who's named Riri Williams, she was introduced in Black Panther 2, right? Like she has made like a vibranium detector, and they need to sort of go and figure out who has made the virus. So she's the one that they kind of go and pick up. Okay, so coming to this one. So my biggest issue with the show is the writing. Like the acting and everything is fine. Like I don't have any problems with like who are the central. Wait, give me a second. Okay, I wrote down the names. All right, so Dominic Thorne plays Riri Williams. You have Anthony Ramos who plays the main villain, which is the Hood. Anthony Ramos was the hero in the latest Transformers movie, the Rise of the Beasts, I think. And then you have Manny Montana who plays John, who is the Hood's cousin. You have Alden Ehrenreich who plays Joe, who's like a black marketeer or like a smuggler who deals in like high tech stuff. And then you have Lyric Ross who plays Natalie. She's Riri Williams' friend and AI. Okay, so I'm not going to recap the show. I'll just sort of, I'll just go through it. This is all spoilers. So if you haven't watched the show, go and watch it, or if you don't care, you can just watch this. I don't know. Like I have 150 subscribers. I don't know how many people watch this stuff. Okay, so the problem I have with the show is, as I said in the beginning, is just they're writing this character and making her look like an idiot because she's just making like one bad decision after the other. So we start off with like she does a bit of a monologue, like a voiceover. She's come back from Wakanda. She's back in MIT, and she's like, I want to be Tony Stark, but I don't have like I'm not a billionaire, right? So she needs to raise some money for all the stuff that she wants to make, like her iron suit and other things that she has in mind. And her idea is to start selling completed projects to all the students, not just in MIT, but every college in the surrounding area. It's like just insane. So she's basically helping them cheat. And then she gets caught and she gets expelled, which is bound to happen. And that itself made me go like, why would you do that? Because she is a once in a generation kind of a genius, right? Like, so she can get literally anyone to invest in her projects, right? Like she can find any tech industry or any government, like literally anyone will invest in whatever she is doing, except that she chooses like, okay, I'm going to sell like questions or like answers to question papers and make projects. How much money is she going to make from that? Like a few $1,000s? She's going to need millions. So, and then like the faculty sort of confronts her and they're like, we built this entire program around you. Like you're a genius. Like we built all of this for you. Like we made a custom course for you. And then you decide to go and sort of sabotage all of it by doing plagiarism. And so she gets expelled. And then she sort of flies back. She steals her suit. I don't know if she steals her own suit. Like she just takes the suit, like straps in, and then flies back to Chicago. So while she's flying back, we end up meeting like our main bad guys, who are the Hood and his crew, like the Hood, his cousin John, and then their crew, and they are sort of like robbing billionaires. And their first robbery sort of like, it's not their first robbery, but that robbery sort of goes wrong, and they need like a new crew member. And that's the point. And they're like sitting and talking, and they see like Ironheart sort of flying in. So they're like, maybe we can, try and get her involved with our project. So a few days later, or maybe the next day, like Riri Williams is selling like scrap metal for money or something like that, and she ends up running into John, like the Hood's cousin, and he sort of asks the same question, which I'm guessing like the audience is asking.
How come you're not working at like, I don't know, Stark Industries or something?
Because that's where she belongs, right? And like the Stark Industries aren't bad people, right? I mean, you have like Happy Hogan over there. He would happily, like fund her projects, and she's like, I just met you. I don't think I should answer these questions, but I think the show can answer those questions. Like, why do you have a central character who is a genius, can get funded by anyone, but for some reason is not choosing to do any of those things, except that she chooses to work with the Hood, because the Hood, like the cousin is like, why don't you come over and we have like a business proposition for you? And so she comes in and he's like, he gives her the whole thing of, like the billionaires have all the money, we're going to rob them and blah, 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 whatever. And, and she's like, she's not too keen on it, but she's still like, yeah, okay, I'll commit, I'll pull off heists with you guys. It's just like, why? Anyways, so fine. So it's like she's going to pull off heists and get the money to, make her suit. And then the second episode comes around and it completely destroys that premise. So in the second episode, before the heist happens, she's looking for some parts. And her AI is now, like she builds her own AI who looks like her best friend Natalie. So we also get like a bit of like her backstory, which is that her stepfather and her best friend Natalie got killed in like a drive-by shooting. So she's really not happy that her AI looks like Natalie, but she doesn't have a choice, so she's sort of stuck with that. So Natalie sort of goes around the dark web and figures out, like there are a few people in Chicago who sell like really high-tech stuff on the black market. So she gives her a name, that's Joe, played by Alden Ehrenreich. And she meets up with Joe and she blackmails him. She's like, look, if you don't give me the parts that I want, I am going to hand you over to the FBI.
Look at me. There's no way I can survive prison. Have you seen Orange is the New Black?
And he's like, okay, look, I don't want to go to jail, so I'll just give you all the parts. And the minute that happens, I was kind of like, why does she need to pull off heists now? Because her main reason for pulling off the heists was that she gets money so that she can build her Iron Man suit. But now you have Joe who's giving her all the stuff for free. So she doesn't need to commit heists, except that she still goes and commits the heist, which goes along, just fine. Like on a VFX level, I have no complaints. Like really good VFX stuff. Like there are shots where she like the Iron Man suit like lands and she just steps out of it. It's done seamlessly. Like all of that stuff is fantastic. I just have like one issue with like one graphics thing that they keep doing, which I did not like. But the rest of it from a VFX standpoint is fantastic. Even from an acting standpoint, right? Like Dominic Thorne is great. Anthony Ramos is great. Like Alden Ehrenreich is good. So there's no problem. Like the rest of the crew don't have much of a personality. They also haven't been given much to do that, I have any feelings about them. But yeah, the central characters are all well acted. It's just the writing that I have a problem with. So anyway, as if committing heists wasn't enough of bad decisions, by episode 3, the writers decide, hey, you know what? Let's take this up a notch. So episode 3, they're going to rob something else. You also get a very nice twist in episode 3, or not a twist, you get a reveal in episode 3 about who Alden Ehrenreich's character really is. That's a good twist. I won't reveal it here in case you watch the show. It's a good reveal. I was like, that I wasn't expecting. Anyway, so she decides like, so you have like the Hood is called the Hood because he has this hood, which is like a hood with a cloak. and it's magic basically because it makes him go like it. He can become invisible. He's sort of bulletproof. He can bend bullets. Like all of that stuff. So she's really curious about how this thing works. But her decision is that I am going to take a piece of the hood in the middle of the heist because nothing can go wrong there. So they are going to rob another billionaire who has like this greenhouse in the middle of the ocean. So they're going to fly in and they're going to hack into the system and they're going to get in. Her plan is like because Natalie, like her AI, can also control the suit. She's going to pretend that she's in the suit, but in fact she's going to get into the greenhouse, underground or whatever, and like Natalie will pretend that Riri is in the suit, and then she's going to sneak in and find the hood, who's sort of like talking to the billionaire, and then get under him, under a platform and like cut off a piece of the hood. And in order to do that, she has like a laser that she has hidden on her arm, and she sort of covered it with this like fake high-tech skin or whatever. So because the greenhouse has like a very specific alarm system, which is if it detects foreign metal, it goes into shutdown mode, it sucks out all the oxygen and just floods the whole thing with CO2. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Anyway, so she gets in, everything is going according to plan, not really. And she ends up exposing the laser for far too long and it trips the alarm. She does manage to get the piece, but now the entire crew is in like different greenhouses. There are like 6 of them, they're like spokes, and everything shuts down. So they're like choking and dying. So she's like almost on the verge of killing the entire crew at this point. But luckily, like the cousin is outside. Okay, the cousin isn't in the greenhouse. So the cousin tells like because he thinks Riri Williams is inside the suit. So he's like, you go open up, one of the greenhouses. I'll open up the other one. And he's like opening up, and she comes through the duct into the greenhouse. And at that exact moment, like he opens up the door, and he's like, "What are you doing here? You're not in the suit." So he realizes, and then he spots the piece of the hood, and he realizes like what her plan is. So he gets pissed off, and they have a fight, and he's trying to kill her, except that he pulls out the knife, so it again goes into shutdown mode. And so they both are sort of choking and dying. Riri Williams and the cousin are sort of like choking and dying inside the greenhouse. The Iron Man suit comes in, opens the door, picks up Riri Williams and flies out, and then the door shuts. And the cousin ends up dying. So now it wasn't enough that Riri Williams has become, is committing robberies. Now Riri Williams has committed and accidentally killed someone. It's such a weird thing to do. Because you're like, okay, so from a superhero standpoint, right? Every superhero has like a trauma in their background, right? Like in their backstory, right? So like with Spider-Man, it's like Uncle Ben got killed, and then with Batman, his whole family, like his parents got killed. So everyone has like some reason why they became a superhero. With Riri Williams, you already have that, right? Like you already have like her stepfather and her best friend got gunned down in a drive-by shooting, and that's why she does what she does. Does she need to have more trauma? I don't think so. Like they could have easily because the point is like, okay, if you think of it from an ordinary person's point of view, you go like, yeah, okay, she ran away because this person was trying to kill her. But she's not supposed to be an ordinary person, right? She's supposed to be the hero of your story. So she's supposed to, like, the way I think this should have happened is like she goes halfway through and then goes like, oh, maybe I should go back and save this guy because I don't want him to die, and then I'll deal with the repercussions later. Like I'll worry about them trying to kill me later. But instead she just runs away and then he dies. And then the end of episode 3 is like she's having like a full-blown panic attack because she's killed somebody. And it's just like, it's like it almost feels like the writers are just making her commit like the worst mistakes that she can. Like none of it is making sense to me. Like even with, as I said, like with Joe's character, giving her stuff for free. Like you can, like if you make a few tweaks to the show works, right? If let's say you have Joe working for the Hood, and the Hood sort of brings in Riri Williams and says like, look, I have this guy. He has all the high tech stuff that you need. You pull off heists with me, and Joe will give you whatever you want. That clears up that issue. Or if you do something like, okay, she just teams up with Joe, because those two together are great, right? Like Dominic Thorne and Alden Ehrenreich, when they are together, they have like, that's a good pairing, that's a good team. So you can make a team of those two, and then you can have the Hood separate, and then she can be like, I'm going to go stop those robberies because I want to be a hero, and that would be perfectly fine too. But the way it is right now, it's just a mess. And now we have like, I'm guessing 3 more episodes. So we're already at the halfway mark. And it's also like, I'm kind of wondering, how has she not been arrested as yet? Because like she's flying around everywhere in her giant, iron suit. There's a point in like episode 2 where she almost gets caught by like a security guard, and then the Hood sort of shoots the security guard. But he's supposed to be alive in the hospital. Like that's what one of the characters says. And it'd be like, if he wakes up, he's going to be like, yeah, there was a person in an iron suit. Like, and there's only like one, like Tony Stark is dead. There's only one other person who's ever built an iron suit. So the police are going to come knocking at her door, like pretty soon. She's also like when the episode 3 ends, she's also dropped like the laser and the fake skin inside the greenhouse, so that's also going to give her away. Also, like stealing the Hood, which I'm sort of like dialing back to that also doesn't make any sense, because like the beginning of episode 3, you get a scene where one of the crew members sort of just goes and like takes the Hood and just like dancing around in it, and she's like, oh, does it look better on me, or does it look better on Anthony Ramos's character or whatever, right? And the point being, like, he's not even locking it up. Like, it's not under lock and key. It's not like he keeps it in a safe. It's just there in his office. So if she wanted a piece of it, she could have just taken it at any point in time. Why do it in the middle of the heist? That doesn't make any sense either. I don't know, this is the first time I've like watched a show where I'm just going like, the writing is just a mess. It's like, why are you making your central character make all of these dumb decisions? To what end? Like, how does she become a better person? She's going to end up in prison at the end of this. I guess that's the ending you go for, where she ends up in prison and then Happy Hogan shows up and gets her out of prison. He's like, from now you work for me. Is that the ending they're going to go for? I don't know. The only thing I'm looking forward to is, because the Hood is magic, and I don't think we've ever seen like an iron suit go up against like pure magic. So that would be fun. Because in the cast is also supposed to be like Mephisto. So I'm just like, okay. So she's going to end up fighting like a demon or something by the end of this. That would be cool. I just don't know. Like, they should have written this better. Okay, I guess that's enough of me sort of complaining about this. So yeah, I'll watch the other 3. There are only 3, so I'll watch the other 3, and if it turns out better, if it ends better, I'll talk about it. Or yeah, there's other stuff I can review, right?